Lights, camera, action.
You are now tuned into your favorite homegirls. I'm Randy Noble.
And I'm 𝒀𝒐𝒏𝒆𝒄𝒕𝒆𝒅, aka 𝒀𝒐𝒏𝒏𝒆𝒄𝒕𝒆𝒅.
And collectively, we are the new Black Girlz, a podcast dedicated to reclaiming our voice.
Living out loud.
Unapologetically black and proud. Give me some, baby.
You already know, girl. Episode 2, what it do, what it do, what it do, what it do, what it do.
Motherfucking
ooh, with the crew, what it do, what it do.
We missed you.
So happy to be back. It's felt like forever.
Too long.
I was waiting on you at the door.
Yeah.
But we here. We back. We back.
We're back.
We just want to thank you guys for all the loving feedback that we received.
My God.
From our first episode.
Like, so beautiful.
From the DMs.
So much
to
love.
The text.
So much appreciation.
To the comments.
It was so great. And we're so happy that this is being impactful for you and like really helping you along your journeys, because this is why we're here.
Yes. And I actually have a message from one of our homegirls.
Yes.
So I'm going to read it for us.
Perfect.
It says, "Hi, just stopping by to say that I love everything about this platform. The Instagram feed, the podcast, the power, the confidence.
Yes.
I cannot wait to see the beautiful places this platform will go.
Speak on it.
Keep doing your thing, ladies, and thank you for inspiring other Black women like me."
Thank you, homegirl.
Thank you, homegirl, because that's why we do it. We do it for you. We do it for us.
That's amazing. I absolutely love hearing that.
It's reassuring.
Yeah.
Because
it's so reassuring.
We don't do this, like, none of this is in vain. You know? It's really to
share.
Bring us together and share and expand, with you guys. So.
Yeah. So exciting. And then, we also had a homegirl reach out with a question, basically based off of our last episode, which, was cultivating community.
Right.
She was definitely inspired by the episode and she had a follow-up question. So I'm going to tap into that message and share it with you all. And hopefully we can answer her question with where we're headed to next.
Yes.
So the energy budget part got to me and I keep repeating it. I don't know what it is, but even when I am drained, I still try to give myself away. And it's always with people who don't deserve it, but I want to fix people. I'm trying to work on everything you were speaking about, and I want to know, what was the first step in your journey? I like that. First off, I love your authenticity.
Yes, homegirl.
With coming to us with how you're feeling, what you're thinking, and a question, because this is why we're here.
Exactly.
And we all have that same question. We all had to start somewhere. Some haven't started yet.
Yeah.
And so I do think that's a great question. And I also need you to realize that the most important person in your life is going to be you.
Yes.
Okay? Don't let them tell you anything differently. It's going to be you.
You set the tone. All
right? So you can't get caught up with wanting to help other people. That's how you kind of get thrown off. Authentic expression is really about prioritizing yourself and being able to communicate your own needs.
Yes, which leads us to our topic today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Discovering your authentic
expression.
I know, it just sounds so fucking on point, right?
Yeah.
We're going to break it down for you how we always do.
Let's definitely get into it. But first, I do want to give a special shout out.
Okay.
Girl, we got some rosé on deck.
What y'all got?
And this ain't just drinking? Any type of rosé. Okay, this is Black owned rosé. Okay, this is from a Black owned company.
Because you know how
it's called 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒆𝒄𝒕𝒆𝒅. From the �côte-de-Provence.
Oh, yeah.
Saint-Tropez.
Damn.
Okay.
That's sexy.
It's sexy. I can say it again.
Well,
Saint-Tropez. Yeah, I'll definitely pour you up. I do want to say that my friend sold this out at his restaurant. So shout out to Steve, and definitely shout out to La Fête du Rosé, because this... Oh, I'm so sorry. I kind of got carried away. I got a little carried away with the wine, but I was just so excited to share.
That's good.
Is it good?
Yeah, my happy ass. I couldn't even.
I know. I was about to say we're supposed to cheers.
Okay, I hope you guys have your tea, your sage,
get it
your
all
bath
together.
water, your wine, whatever it is that's going to assist you.
Oh, you know
today.
what you're also gonna need? A notepad. Get your journal.
Get
out,
your notebook
okay?
out, baby.
Because this episode we came with the writing prompts. Okay, we did not come to play. We came to slay. Okay.
Get into it, y'all.
So get that journal because the writing prompts you're going to want to like get into.
Yeah, probably have to pause.
Yeah.
And then tap in and write some, notes down. Just take in what we're saying because it's heavy, but it's necessary for us to unpack it.
It takes effort, but it's like you said, it's so necessary and it's worth it. Okay, so cheers to that.
And we're gonna spice it up and make it fun.
Yeah, for sure. Cheers to discovering your own authentic expression.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's good.
That's real good.
See, that's why I poured you a lot. I knew you would like it.
It's like...
It tastes like water.
Okay. Moving right along. So, what does it mean to be authentic?
Yeah.
The definition means to be true to one's own personality, spirit, or character. Authenticity is the degree to which a person's actions are congruent with his or her values and desires, despite external pressures to social conformity.
Oh, that's a definition. Why do you feel authentic expression is important? Like, I know and feel that it's something that starts inside of you.
Absolutely.
And eventually works its way out. But how do you really feel this can impact somebody and, like, really make a difference in their life and their lifestyle?
I feel like the more authentic you are, the more growth that you're undergoing, the more people get to identify with you and understand you in a way that isn't so surface level. So it's deep. And
it is
like
deep.
Anything deep is worthwhile.
No, you're so right. I love it. Girl, that sounds like a tattoo.
Right?
That sounds like a tattoo.
Yeah.
Anything deep is worthwhile. No, really though, I do believe that like having that authentic expression is what creates those genuine relationships.
Meaningful connection.
Really meaningful connection. Also that self-reflection and self-awareness, like that true honesty with yourself, which can only help you better align with who you ideally are, like, and your values and your desires and your goals. So I can see the importance in that. You explain what authentic is and like authenticity, but what is expression?
Expression, that's how you present yourself. That can go into so many different like layers as far as like your personal style and the way that you accessorize. And,
I love that. Like
your hairstyle,
your external expression and the way you carry yourself. And then it's also in the way that you speak.
The way you speak.
The way that you, communicate and share, even like in performance, like in the arts and create. All of that is expression. So when we put together the two, it's kind of like, true expression or like something that's original to you.
Right.
Only you can authentically express yourself in the way that you can do it. Authenticity generally reflects the extent to which an individual's core or true self is operative on a day-to-day basis. So what we're talking about isn't just something that you learn overnight. It's not something that you're just going to take notes and then get it and understand it and feel like you tackled it.
Exactly.
Like, no, this is for the rest of your life.
It's a day-to-day commitment to showing up for yourself. And I was thinking about it. My authentic self will look different every day.
Yeah. Oh, speak on that.
Right? Because I'm changing every day.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not the same person I was yesterday, and that is pretty dope. So I should embrace that.
Yeah. And just knowing that your authentic self is multifaceted. Like, as humans, it's so easy, especially with like even things like social media and different genres and niches. And is it a niche or niche?
I digress. I digress.
But you know, there's so many different like categories and stuff and boxes that they want to put you into, but we're multifaceted. So remember that within your own journey of figuring out, discovering your own authentic expression, you are multiple people. There's multiple parts of yourself that can all exist at once. That's how I can be Jay-Z, the Empress, and Jazzy Rich.
Hello.
I'm both.
I love that.
So just getting into that. Now, I do want to mention that there are 4 stepstones to really, discovering your authentic expression.
For sure.
And these 4 stepstones are all attributes of emotional intelligence, which we kind of touched on in our first episode, which, look at that connection.
It's the alignment for me.
Me too. And so with these components, I think that as you learn about them and you see how they relate to you, you will better be able to tell how you can like take more control of that process and that journey within yourself.
Take more of an active role.
Yeah, and keep yourself monitored.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Block it out with the new Black Girlz. Period.
Love it.
All right, so there are 4 elements. The first element to discovering your authentic expression is awareness, self-understanding.
The second one is going to be unbiased processing, which is really in the category of social awareness or objective self-evaluation.
Yes, looking at things from a place of non-judgment, just looking at the facts and being like honest
and unbiased
with yourself.
And then number 3.
Yes, the next element is behavior. So your actions aligning with your core needs, your values, your preferences. That's how you're presenting yourself to the world, in person, online.
Yeah, and whether your presentation aligns with your authentic expression, And then that last element is going to be what then kind of, I feel, connects things together and packages it to get into the real world, which is more of your relational
orientation.
Yeah, it's really like your relationship management, how you manage your relationships and how you show up authentically. And you do have to like know yourself first in order to show up authentically for a relationship. But we're about to get deep into it. So let's just start off at the top with some, awareness, self-awareness. And remember, we do have our writing prompts. So just, get ready if you'd love to take notes with us.
Yeah. So number 1 is awareness. Being aware of one's motives, feelings, desires, values, strengths and weaknesses, and characteristics. And being motivated to learn about these self aspects and their roles in your behavior. So, Jazz, how did you get to know yourself? Where did you start?
What?
Because I look at you and you're so sure of yourself from the very moment I met you.
Aw, that's so beautiful.
It was like, this girl, no. She knows she bad.
No, I just know what feels good to me, and I know how to do what like kind of makes me happy and feel comfortable. Where I first found that expression was actually fashion. And that's just, I would look around me and whatnot, but then I would also just have these like inspirations myself. And for some reason, I was bold enough to always like try, regardless of what other people thought, because you can't have like validation or other people's thoughts in who you are and what your authentic expression is. It's really all about you and how it makes you feel. And so
when did that start for you?
I feel like that started by the time I was in like junior high.
Okay.
Yeah, but it didn't really become a thing until I was in college. And then once I graduated college, it was it was over for that.
Woo!
It was over for that. You weren't
Once
look. Who knew me in high school and middle school and college? They don't know. They don't know Jay-Z or the Empress. They don't know Jazzy Rich. Okay.
Same. I reflect on when I started to find more of myself and just kind of like expressing that. I would say in high school, because I went to an all-girls Catholic school, shout out to Sacred Heart.
So cute.
I had like, you know, my dress down days and I would show out. I would show out so the girls knew. You know what I'm saying? But
so wait, this was like, was this like one day a week where you didn't have to wear a uniform or something?
You know they made you pay that $5.
What? You had to pay?
Down.
Stop. You had to pay to dress down? Yes. That's very interesting.
Very interesting. That's another topic. But yes, we used to do our dress on days and I used to show out. So once I left high school, got into college, I'm like, oh, I could really start experimenting.
Yeah. Because now you don't got to pay $5 a day.
You know what I'm saying?
You just make it do what it do,
and
baby.
don't nobody know me.
Yeah.
Like I'm still, you know, the new kid on the block.
Yeah.
So I am a proud college dropout. And once I dropped out of college after 2 years, I really honed in on my personal style. Dressing based off of my mood.
Oh, girl, that's my favorite thing to do.
Feel good.
I love that.
If I woke up and I was feeling a little preppy, I'll put on a mini skirt.
Yeah.
And a little blouse. And a little heel.
You went with the flow of your energy, and
I started to really tap into that. Like,
yeah, I feel like that's
aspect.
where the magic exists, especially with something like style and when it does come down to your external expression, it's like nothing represents me more than the mood that I'm feeling right now as my present self. And so when I go get my nails done, when I'm getting dressed in the morning, I don't care what it is, even if I'm doing my hair, I'm going based off of my mood that I'm either feeling or I'm attracting. Like I'm manifesting this type of experience for the next week or so, you know?
Yes.
I know some tools that really can help you along that path of like, you know, just that self-awareness, that
knowing your emotions,
self-understanding. Yeah, so journaling, like get your journal.
We love journaling. That's one of the like
it's
sinking.
It's one of those things.
That's one of our things. Like literally, like I'll sleep over and we'll just wake up in the morning and journal together. So romantic.
It is romantic. I just, you know, once you start journaling, it's very hard to stop. Like, you'll feel like something is missing, or like you'll wake up and be like, okay, I didn't do that today, darn. Because it's kind of like that time where you get to connect with yourself and give yourself that time out to just know that, you know, self, you are important. Let me see how you're thinking. Like, let's reflect on some things that we're feeling. Like, how are your emotions? What's going on in your life?
If you're not checking yourself, who else is going to do it? And that's how you won't even be offended when someone else maybe does check you. It's like, oh, I'm already on top of that. I know I was out of pocket. Like, I know. Yeah. But thank you.
So yeah, definitely, if you haven't yet, try journaling, even meditation. This is the one time in your day or in your week or month where you're giving yourself time to yourself. You're sitting yourself in time out and being like, okay, let me sit with myself and hear what I'm thinking, because what's gonna happen is your thoughts are gonna fly everywhere. But the thing with meditation is being that stillness in the center and being able to hear and observe your thoughts without any judgment. So now let's get into our first writing prompt that falls under awareness.
Yes. So the first writing prompt we have for you is, what are some things that make you uniquely you?
I love that one. Next, what has changed within yourself since you were a child? Any desires, goals, values, and then, if anything, what has stayed the same?
Love. Third, if money was not a factor and you could do anything in the world with your life, what would it be?
That's like my favorite question ever that I will ask anybody if I really want to know, like, who they are and what they're passionate about.
Yeah.
Like, take money out the equation and what is it? Then our last writing prompt is going to be, if you die 50 years from now, what story shall other people tell at your funeral about your life and your character?
I really appreciate that one because death is
Inevitable?
inevitable.
It is. And so just having that truth in front of you can actually change the way that you're living and kind of form your lifestyle. So that's something to think about.
I constantly have legacy at the forefront of everything I do.
Period. So now let's move on to this next stepstone and components in discovering your authentic expression, okay? And that is going to be unbiased processing.
Yes, girl.
Okay, so what is unbiased processing? It sounds so scientific, but
it really does.
Let's just simplify it for you, okay? So unbiased processing is objective self-evaluation. Objective meaning unbiased, okay? Self-evaluation, which allows you to have a clear idea of who you are, which will enable you to make well-informed decisions regarding your skills and abilities. So it's an unbiased assessment, meaning you have to accept both positive and negative self aspects. You definitely don't want to throw anything out of proportion, no rationalization or judgment of who you are and why you do it. You want to be completely honest with yourself and keep it 100, regardless of whether you think it's good or bad. Because it's not about judgment. It's about the truth.
You want to look at the facts and embrace the facts for what they are so that you can progress.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest difference. Like, you know, maybe exaggerating or lying about a skill that you think that you have and kind of making it bigger than what it is. It might feel good in the moment or in the short term, but in the long term, it's more detrimental to your journey and your goals because you're not being realistic with yourself about what you need to be doing, who you're supposed to be, and like, you know, what versions of yourself really align with your goals. So that honesty with self element is so important, and it also affects your social awareness of other people, right? And like
absolutely
the way that you deal with other people.
Yeah, let's get into it. What has been brought to your attention regarding how your behavior affects other people? What did you have to stare clear in the face and really take that time to evaluate so that you can express yourself more authentically?
Well, I'm going to just be honest and say I don't have that part figured out yet.
Okay.
Like even something like therapy is so important for this specific component because this is where you get to tap into some things that are in your subconscious or even trauma that you may have experienced that make you react a certain way instead of responding in the way that you really want to. And so even for me, there's been a couple things that have been thrown in my face, things that I'm self-aware of, and I recognize that it's like tied into my certain experiences. However, the healing part of that and the real understanding of it is what really matters when it comes down to transmuting that energy and being in control and choosing to respond instead of react. Right? So my natural reaction might be to get defensive. I don't like authority. I'm going to just say it like that. I don't like nobody tell me what to do. I know what I need to be doing for myself. However, let's just say you like try to tell me what to do and my defensive reaction might be something because I already know what I'm doing or already did that versus it being a response which might come with more reflection, unbiased processing of, you know, oh, I showed up late to work. I'm going about things in a certain way that's not putting my best foot forward. So in reality, there's a reason why this information is being brought to my attention. It's not just an attack or it's not just somebody judging me. It's like, no, this is all actually relative to my experience. And if I take accountability for my own actions, I can actually choose to respond knowingly and truthfully instead of, putting on that mask.
It's looking at the facts and
being honest with yourself.
Being honest.
Holding yourself accountable.
Holding yourself accountable.
Especially when you know better. Like, once you get past that awareness element of like, okay, this is what I value. These are my desires. Like, now your job is to see where you measure up with those things. Like,
yes, and that's the only way to problem solve.
It really is. It is.
Yeah, that's the key to like progressing and moving forward.
And being truthful with that. So even when it does come down to the social awareness component of that emotional attribute is really like getting into the habit of observing closely how both your behavior affects other people and then also how other people's behavior affects you.
As I was reflecting on this particular element, I thought about my mom who actually checked me and told me that I had a grandiose mentality. Like everything was sweet and I couldn't be touched.
Okay, Empress, I see you.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's that spoiled girl act.
Yeah, exactly.
She basically like, told you you're spoiled.
You act like your shit doesn't stink and like you're just untouchable.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous.
It's true.
Like, it's okay to be confident, but you do have to have a balance. You
gotta
need
be
to
realistic.
Be in reality.
That's that unbiased processing.
You have to live in reality, Randy.
Yes.
And I was like,
what's the reality? What are you talking about? Like,
I'm lit for
reality. Real. My nails are cute. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. But as I leaned further into my self-awareness, I started really picking up on that like mentality and how it was being expressed all through my life, my relationship.
God. And how did that feel once you realized it?
I was like, ooh. And I ooh.
And I ooh.
And I ooh.
Oh my God, I know. I've definitely gone through that before, and on the other side of that is so many emotions once you become like self-aware that shit, it wasn't what you thought it was, or it's not as sweet as you thought it was, or you're actually not where you should be and
like
stuff.
There's work to be done, and that's the whole
it's a hard pill to swallow.
Going back to the definition, like it's a daily process, and you have to commit and take an active role in this expression.
Agreed. Okay, let's definitely get into some of these writing prompts for unbiased processing.
What do you think is your biggest flaw or negative aspect in your communication? What's your most positive?
When was the last time you felt triggered? How did you react? And how do you think you should have responded?
Love. What are some ways that you can recalibrate and switch back to your authentic self?
And lastly, how do you want to be perceived by others? Does that perception align with your authentic self?
That's the one.
That's the one. Is this even possible? Is that rational?
Right. Is this perception that I'm like yearning for even
real?
Me though?
Is
like,
it you? Is
that me?
Is it you?
Or is that what?
Are you gonna look yourself in the mirror?
Has deemed acceptable? Is that what's like most pleasing to my family? Is that what other people expect from me, as opposed to what I truly want for myself?
Absolutely love that. Love. Okay. So happy that we're moving on to number 3, which is behavior.
This is an exciting one. This element has to do with behaving authentically and acting in accord with one's values, preferences, and needs, as opposed to acting merely to please others and comply with expectations and conform to social norms. Exactly what we were just saying. So your behavior should reflect the choice to express one's true feelings, motives, and inclinations.
Yeah, definitely. And when your behavior aligns with your authentic expression, that's when I really feel like you are genuinely more happy. Like you'll experience less depression because you're not feeling like you're out here lost, wasting your time in your life. Like you'll feel greater vitality and energy.
Yes.
And like you'll probably also see more success just within your own lifestyle, your relationships, just because you're in alignment with yourself and what your true desires are. What are some ways to improve our behavioral actions? You definitely have to be compassionate and patient with yourself, and don't filter away from what feels uncomfortable. Like I really think that you should embrace being uncomfortable and stepping outside of your comfort zone, because that's where true life lives.
Yeah, embrace uncertainty. Embrace imperfection. Embrace sharing your journey. Embrace that vulnerability aspect. I'm learning to embrace more of that transparency that I know is inside each and every one of us.
Yeah.
We deserve to give more light to that, because it's gonna make us happier. Like it seems so simple, but like then when you actually try to do it, you may get some resistance.
Right. I mean, it's automatic because you don't want to feel like a failure or feel like you don't know how to do something. Like I feel like we're trained that way through school. It's like you're supposed to know the right answer. If you got the wrong answer, like you're going to have a red marks on your paper, or you're going to be called out, or you're going to raise your hand and then be wrong. Like, it's all this fear behind not necessarily knowing. But if you give yourself room to change and allow yourself to change, then you can really actually enjoy this experience and this journey. And that's something for me, like my whole stay anchored movement, staying anchored in your authentic self. It's really more about giving yourself that room and that grace to become the highest version of yourself. And embracing the entire process, the part that's uncomfortable, the part that's like really dark and sad and deep, the part that's really exciting and passionate and motivating and inspiring, the part that makes you be like, oh my God, I love life so much.
You gotta honor the lows and the highs. Because it's bound to flow, just like water. You know what I mean? Kind of like embrace that water element. I'm learning that too.
I love that.
The highs and the lows, because if you get so high off those highs, man, when the low come,
it hit hard. It real hard.
Hard. If you have that self-awareness and you know what's gonna bring you back to your most authentic self, you'll be alright.
Right. Definitely. And the thing with behavior, like that's really now when it comes down to action and self-management. So now it's looking at, what am I doing daily, every day? And what if this is what I'm doing? Is this bringing me a step closer to my true desires and my authentic self, or further away? Does this align with what I say I want and desire and what I truly believe in? Or am I doing things that contradict who I truly am and my true authentic expression? I feel like that's what behavior is really all about. And it crosses over so many different categories, but it just starts with you, in my opinion, you and the way that you feel about things that you're doing and things that you're even saying, things that you're consuming.
Yeah. And how are you presenting? How are you presenting?
How are you presenting? Wait, can we get into this presentation element real quick? Because as y'all can see, you already know, your favorite homegirls, the new Black Girlz, we do not take expression and style lightly.
We don't.
but it's also something that's so natural for us, so we kind of do. But
Right.
that's what makes it all special.
You feel me?
And so I kind of do want to tap into this whole, you know, authentic expression on the external, and when it comes down to style and how you choose to step outside, and whether that's, you know, within your own brand. Is it on purpose? Is it just how you feel? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many layers to kind of dissect, but I would love to like touch on it now, and then we can kind of dive deeper into it on another episode, because I know our homegirls really want to get into the details of it.
Yes. Expressing myself through my style and fashion is so much fun. And like you said, Jazz, it does come natural to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're in touch with who we are. And like we said, we go according to our mood and what we feel. So even the decision to wear this outfit today,
get into it,
yeah, for our viewers watching us on YouTube, tap in.
Tap in, YouTube, the new Black Girlz with the Z.
I just woke up feeling like a rock star. And when I get into this mode, there's so many different modes.
It's so fun.
But when I get into this mode, I just feel like a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's how it feels. Randy the rock star, it's like a certain energy and look that you tap into that's already a go-to for you.
And the red hair.
It's the red hair for me.
This hair, this decision to dye my hair red, and for Jazz as well. She's never done red before. I've never done red before. It symbolizes us really embracing the fire.
That fire
inside
energy.
Of us.
Yes.
Like, it's so symbolic. And it just ties into what we're saying. Like, whatever you are feeling in the inside, express that.
Let it out.
Express that on the outside.
Let it out.
Don't hold back. Don't be afraid to try new things and like play with different versions of like
of yourself.
Of yourself.
And that's what that authenticity is about, is like keeping it real. Like you're not going to like everything that you try. Like some things you may not like, some fits that you get from the store may not fit you in the way that you want it to, or this may not actually look the way that you imagine in your head. And like when it comes down to external expression of like your styling and fashion, to me it's like from head to toe. Like we start with the crown, we go all the way down. You feel me? All the way to the tippy toe with the white tits. And so I know that's one thing, like with us as friends, like I already know immediately it attracted us. You know what I mean? Was that full authentic expression in that moment, and also being able to feel and read that confidence and that energy amongst each other. It was just very familiar energy, which we're coming up on our friendiversary.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
July 9th.
July 9th. So when it does come down to that head to toe expression, like for me it is like my hair, like I'm a colorful braids type of person. Like that's just what I do. And it's my signature look, and it's not just colorful braids. Like this takes a very long time to figure out, you know, my colors and the pairing.
It's a process for her to.
It's like each braid by braid, and it takes so long. However, it just feels so good to me. It's just like getting my nails done. Like it's very mood based.
Mm-hmm.
Same as getting dressed. Like how I feel when I'm putting on everything is how I'm about to move in that outside world, in that space.
It changes. Allow yourself to change. Allow yourself that grace to change.
Yeah, be open. So you can really see who you are. This is a discovery, y'all. It's not a set in stone type of thing. Like this is discovering your authentic self. And as we said, it's not something that happens overnight. This is a lifelong discovery. So you are never stuck in one place. You're never a hypocrite. You can always switch it up.
Right.
You are your only judge. And
because I'm going to be honest, there was a point in time where I felt very stuck to a certain hairstyle, or stuck to a certain, like, the way that people perceived me, because they fell in love with that idea, right?
Yeah.
I had to let go of that real quick.
Oh, yeah. Nah.
Real quick, because I'm over
It's not
it.
shawtless.
I'm like, I'm not really feeling the locks in this era of my life. I'm gonna let them go. I'm gonna, I can always come back to them, but I want to try something different. So don't feel too attached to like past versions that you've expressed, no matter like how it's perceived.
Mm-hmm.
If you,
good or bad,
if you
even if it's
are
praised,
ready to change it, do it.
Do it. You're the only one stopping yourself.
Yeah.
I love that. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So let's get into some of these writing prompts for our behavior section. So our first question is going to be, what does it feel like when you step outside of your comfort zone? This just gave me anxiety thinking about it.
I know. It's like something. Like, what does it feel like?
Yo, get used to that feeling and get comfortable with it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What does it feel like for you?
For me, I feel anxiety. Like I feel anxious. I feel like I can feel like my heart space kind of like tense up a little bit.
Yeah.
I can kind of feel, not necessarily that my body is doing this physically, outwardly, but I feel like I'm shrinking. Like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do it. But at the same time, I'm a person that pushes myself outside of my comfort zone. And like when I sense fear, I kind of run towards it. Like I learned that from Will Smith. Shout out to Will Smith. Call me. And so.
No, shout out to Will for real.
Shout out to Will. But like Will.
Shout out to Will for real.
Shout out to Will for real. So, yeah, it's now kind of a trigger for me, like performing on freaking stage. Every single time is stepping outside of my comfort zone. I don't really like people like that. And my art is like my inside feelings, and it's just a very, very like vulnerable experience. So the fact that I'm now getting on a stage in front of a bunch of people to present this, I almost feel like I'm presenting a class project every time I get on stage. Wow. And I just want to die. But I push through it anyways, and I just love it. It's such a, I don't know, it's
that's
such a posing thing.
That's a form of your authentic expression that you are currently discovering and diving deeper into and like learning to embrace.
Yeah, for sure.
You can only, keep doing that if you put in the effort. So
yeah, the day that I stop is the day that I die.
And usually I feel the same when I am stepping outside of my comfort zone. My heart starts racing. My body gets really hot. Moving on. Number 2, the next writing prompt is, what changes have you made in your behavior lately to better align with your authentic self?
Definitely something to reflect on. What are some aspects of your expression that you still want or need to change?
And number 4, what specific elements of your external expression add to your originality?
Love that.
Okay.
What is it for you?
I would say my smile.
Oh, I was just looking at your beautiful smile.
My smile. I actually had a very good friend of mine just compliment me on the fact that anytime she sees me, I'm smiling. She doesn't even know why. She appreciates the fact that I have a warm energy and embrace, and I take pride in that. I feel like that adds to my originality. Like, you'll never really catch me in like a funky mood. I'm not.
No, you're totally right. I definitely think that you have like an uplifting type of energy. Like, there's not going to be many times where I come around you and you're just not already uplifted. I won't even have to know what's going on. You're just going to kind of like, it's kind of like your throne. Like, that's where you stay.
Yep. And also, nobody is going to have on my outfit.
Period.
When I step on the scene, it's like that. You ain't never seen it.
You could try it, but you can't buy it.
If you saw it, it ain't look this good.
Nah.
What about you, Jazz?
Guess again.
What adds to your originality?
So I would just say that I'm super bold. And that's going to be whether it is my hair colors. It's going to be bold and unique. So it'll be my hair color blend. It'll be my nail shape and style. It'll be like I'm an empress. So if you haven't met an empress before, like I'll just tell you, like I do have a cape, I have a crown. So you might just see me pop out with it, and I don't think twice about it really. So I'm just gonna say I'm gonna do me to the highest degree, and I feel like that's what really makes me unique. But I do believe that everybody has their own version of that when it comes down to their self-expression, and they can tap into that for them, even if it is in their braid styles or even if it is with colors. You have your own favorite colors. Like you can do it your own way, and I really do feel that way. I just kind of do the most within my own way because it's fun.
And I love that you mentioned the power of your Empress energy. I love that you introduce yourself that way because you absolutely exude the qualities of an Empress in the way that you speak and communicate and interact with people.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you.
It's like that crown is intact, and it's lovely to see and witness.
I appreciate that. That brings us to our last component, our last stepstone for this entire discovery of your own authentic expression. And that is relational orientation, people, or relationship management. So, relational authenticity means being genuine and not fake in one's relationship with others, regardless of social status and societal norms.
Ooh.
Okay? Because that's pretty
regardless
deep and open.
Of
regardless
social status and societal norms.
Yes.
You keeping it 100.
Keeping it real, like developing open and honest relationships. And it sometimes may mean revealing parts of yourself that might be, embarrassing or something that you don't necessarily want to openly express, or your dreams, failures, your true emotions. And that's both positive and negative, with somebody else. And through that kind of forming those authentic bonds where it's like bonds of trust, and it's like, I'm keeping it real with you, you're keeping it real with me. We're here.
You feel me?
We're here. Sometimes you don't even have to do all that. Sometimes it's just more of an energy click and you already know that we're here. But other times, like, you might have to peep the scene and figure out what's good.
For sure. How do you start developing your authentic relationships? I would say work on your communication skills so you can feel comfortable being truthful.
Yeah, that's real.
No matter what that may appear like to someone else.
Yeah, it's
standing
hard.
in your truth. And I'm working on that. Because it's so easy to just sugarcoat or, again, like, put that mask on and not be vulnerable. But when you do break down those walls and take down that mask, it's beautiful, right? And it brings you closer to the people that are meant to be in your life and see that vulnerability.
Girl, speak on it. The ones meant to be there will be there before and after you choose to be honest with them.
And this day and age, 2022, there are 2 layers to those relationships. It's in person, and it is
a few layers.
A few layers. It's in person, and it's also online.
Yeah, you're right. These are 2 different components. Okay, so wait. We have in-person relational authenticity, and then we have online relational authenticity. Let's get into that. Can we break it down a little bit?
Yeah.
For our homegirls, like.
Let's do it. Okay, so in person, We always emphasize taking up space, letting your presence be felt. You know, when you step in a room, you don't want to just blend in.
Mm-hmm. Right. We're not
Like,
just called to blend in. We're called to take up space and stand out.
We're called to stand out.
Yeah.
No matter what that looks like. It looks like something different for everybody. For me, what that looks like is speaking to people, like connecting with people, going up to people. If I appreciate something about them, I'm going to let them know.
Yeah.
I'm going to engage with people. That's how I take up space. I also, you know, express myself through my sense of style and fashion. Of course, we touched on that. What about you?
No, I totally agree with everything that you're saying. When it comes down to being in person, for me, it's like you said, being intentional about the way you present yourself, making sure that you know where you're about to go and you know how you want to represent yourself. You know what I mean? Just making sure that you're operating in alignment with your authentic self, like your values, your goals, your desires. You never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah.
That you can share your truth with, that can connect you to get to your goals faster. So that's why that authentic expression is so important. You know, stepping outside of your comfort zone. I know social anxiety is a huge thing today for us and for so many people. And it's like, when it comes down to your authentic expression, so social anxiety has no place. Like
it can't exist.
It just can't really exist. You can't do both things at once, you know?
You got to embrace that uncomfortable feeling. And really tap into the divinity within you.
It's that present moment. It's like once you feel those uncomfortable feelings start to arise, that's when it's like, okay, wait, let me focus on my breath because I'm currently feeling some social anxiety, but I know I have to push past this in order to get to the other side of my truth. Like, this discomfort is temporary, and so many benefits can come from you choosing to push through that discomfort at that moment.
Yeah.
You know, and so with that stepping outside of your comfort zone, kind of getting used to doing that as well. In person, and just having that consistency when you show up, and when you show up, you show out. Okay?
Like, people know what they're going to get from the new Black Girlz when we show up on the scene. You're going to see us dancing, grooving,
good vibes,
engaging with the people around us.
Good style, good
smiling,
vibes.
Good style, good fit, good body, good energy.
All of that. Okay, give me some.
Okay.
Period. Now, let's get into this online topic, though, because I'm sure you all are watching us from YouTube, first off. You probably have an Instagram, or a Twitter, or a Spotify, or a TikTok. Come on. The new Black Girlz, first off, can be found everywhere. But when it comes down to that relational authenticity online, how do you go about really representing yourself in an authentic way online, Brandy?
I like to let people in on my thoughts, and I don't oversaturate it, but I do it as I feel it. If I feel like I want to share, I honor that. And I don't hesitate anymore or like hold back, because that leaves a sick feeling in me. Like,
resentment.
It's like, why am I like hiding? You know, like, I have an audience who is engaging with me and wants to see me and what I'm doing and what I'm up to and what's new. So I want to continue to bring value to my audience. And so really just being dedicated to my own personal truth and expressing that. I had to get comfortable with that and let go of any attachments to the perception of me that people were creating.
Yeah.
I'm constantly changing and evolving, so stay tuned.
Period. I love that. And even for me, like, as a recording artist and a songwriter, it's one of the most vulnerable list, if that's a word, things that I've ever done. Like, and it constantly calls for that new vulnerable version of myself, as to where it's like, okay, I don't think about anybody else when I'm writing my music. And even getting to the space where I am today, it's like what I'm choosing to do now is just like put out my content, make videos, music videos to my content.
Right.
Trust me, I'm a huge perfectionist, and normally I wait on the right conditions and all these other things. But for me, part of my own authentic expression is I really value who I am today. Like, I love myself, and I know I'm so blessed right now in this moment. I don't want to take it for granted, and I want to take full advantage of it and the opportunities I have with the people around me. So the way that I'm moving now, even within my career, is definitely more so doing it, just do it like Nike, like starting now and working with the full resources and tools that I have to be successful, because I know I'm popping regardless of anything else. But what I can do is set up constructs to share on my platforms with my audience as I continue to build my audience and continue to just attract different people that are into the vibe and into that, you know, whatever it is that I'm sharing with you all. So
exactly, you're just creating your own playground.
Yeah, no, I definitely see it as an online playground. Like, your platforms are your space to do you. You know what I mean? This is what your zone is. You're introducing people as that. So if you're gonna come to my space, this is what you're gonna get.
Yeah. Giving people a consistency of what they can expect from you. Me personally, I know when you visit my page or you watch my stories or you click the link in my bio, you're going to feel inspired. You're going to probably want to dance and groove with me and smile. Okay? And do some reflection. And you're probably going to look into what I'm involved in. Communities, you know, collectives, spaces that I'm in. It's kind of like building your own web, you know, what can people tap into just from being tapped into you?
Yeah, I love that.
Other creatives, other Black creatives, you'll definitely get a whole lot of Blackness from coming my way.
Period. For real. You better know that. Okay.
I know that.
And so when it comes down to you and your own journey, like, hopefully these are just tools that you can use as inspiration and just thought when it comes down to your own relational authenticity, how you are showing up in person, how you are showing up online, and whether or not that's authentic to your brand that you've built or the person that you see yourself as in your full authentic expression or your higher self. Just make sure that it's on purpose, you know, even if you don't know your purpose, do it on purpose, you know, just figure out why you want to do it, your why, and do it.
I love that, Jazz. Everything I choose to share on Instagram is intentional. Sure, some things, you know, are fun and goofy, but that's also intentional. Like, I want to keep it light, and I also want to be serious because that is just the range of my personality. That is my authentic expression. I'm all of those things. So I don't want to give you this perfect one-faced,
no,
you know,
because we're multifaceted human beings, so that wouldn't even make sense.
I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in fitting into a category.
Not at all.
Make your social media your playground. Do what you want. Create your own aesthetic. When people come to your page, reflect on how you want them to feel. Not what you want them to, like, always see. Like, I think that's important to touch on, because sometimes when you see, like, everything so perfect, like, that's intimidating to some people, or it's just like off-putting. It's like, well, that's not real. I can't relate to that.
For sure. So just being aware as you are choosing to engage and manage your relationship, all of those go hand in hand. Like, you know, definitely have compassion for others because everybody is on their own journey. And, you know, make your statements and decisions consciously. Like, know what you're doing for your own reasons and stay consistent with that. Right. So that brings us to our writing prompts.
First one for relational orientation, staying authentic throughout your relationships, is how does the way you present yourself in person differ from your online presentation?
Next is, in what ways do you want to improve the way you develop authentic relationships? What's in the way? What do you wish you could get rid of? What do you still need to let go? Do you have trust issues? Like, what's the big T?
Exactly. And lastly, what is something you can do to let your guard down or break the ice when connecting with others? I love that one.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Randy had mentioned something like last week or a couple weeks ago when it even comes down to our community, like even just the Black community, and when we run into one another on our day-to-day basis,
Oh, yes.
you know, like, and just being able to engage with one another and actually speak and be like, you know, how are you? Like, we are all going through so much.
Right.
Like, truly,
shit
just
is
like,
getting crazy.
How are you?
So when I see another Black woman, whether you're an elder, whether you're younger than me, whether you're a young, woman just like me, I want to ask, I want to know, how are you for real? Like, how is your day going?
Because it does matter.
It's important that we talk to each other. And I think post, COVID, we're still getting back into the groove of like really doing that. But let's continue doing that.
I agree.
Because who else is going to, like, how else do we move forward?
Yeah.
If we're not speaking honestly and openly with one another.
Yeah. Even just a hello.
Yeah, just acknowledgement that, hey, like,
a lot of times we'll do the whole thing.
Right. Like,
yeah, like, hi, how are you?
The head nod.
You know, it just really matters. So I appreciate that. And that's something that I keep in mind, even within my day-to-day activities. It's like, it's so easy to just like tap in and communicate. You never know who you're meeting. You never know who you're around.
Oh my gosh.
You just don't know.
Especially living in LA now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's been so many times where just, again, giving somebody a warm smile and initiating that conversation has literally like led me to some really amazing people in my life and great opportunities for me. So
exactly. I love that.
Always keep it lit and keep it light.
Keep it lit and keep it light. Okay, so that's our last writing prompt for our whole stepping stones components of authentic expression and discovering that part. So now we just want to definitely speak on some, red flags or warning labels that you should look out for in your journey, because trust and believe you're going to run into these, and we just want you to be prepared for it and not let it throw you off so that you can stay anchored in your own journey of expressing yourself authentically.
Well, number one, comparison.
Oh, yeah.
Do not let comparison steal your joy, baby.
No. Don't even let it be a factor in your joy.
Don't let it even be a factor.
It's not a factor in your existence. That's your brain.
That is outside of you.
I mean, I always think about how you are your biggest competition. Like,
absolutely, it's me versus me. I don't know who came up with that me versus me, but I'm a stick beside that motto.
For sure. I know when I'm in self-sabotage. Like, I know when I need to be doing something else right now.
Yeah.
And that's enough for me. I don't need to be thinking about you and what you're doing. Like, no. I got stuff I need to be doing right now.
Anytime you're tempted to, like, glance at somebody else's, like, life or paper and compare, just refocus on yourself, because that means that there's more for you to be doing.
Mm-hmm. Facts. And that competition thing is so important in today's age, like, especially with our online market. And when it comes down to, social media, those comparisons and competition, like, a lot of stuff on social media is not as it appears. Like, it's smoke and mirrors, especially when it comes down to, like, celebrities and influencers and the analytics. Like, it's important that you are on this journey for yourself, not for validation. So
yeah,
in these online communities and these online spaces where you're choosing to authentically express yourself, do not get caught up with the numbers. Don't get caught up with the analytics and the data, because
it doesn't even matter
it doesn't
anymore.
matter.
If you notice, like, everybody's kind of engagement has, like, done a little drop.
Well, because they're trying to adjust to what humans are doing in our human attention span.
Yeah.
So it's not about that. It's about your own consistency with your authentic truth. That's what's going to attract your audience.
Exactly.
And that's what's going to continue to get your message out in the way that you need it to.
Yeah. Don't let social media use you. Use social media for your benefit.
Yeah.
Don't let it use you.
For sure.
It's a damn wasteland if you let it use you.
And then if you're going to use it to your benefit and you're going to create content,
yeah,
share content.
Because you don't have to.
You don't have to.
But if you choose to.
If you choose to, be consistent. Like, establish your voice. Establish your context within your content. Establish what you want to do and just be consistent. Even if you want to do a bunch of different things, because we are multifaceted. Who cares? That's okay. That's great for you. And just be consistent at everything that you choose to do, because that's where you're going to see your most growth. That's where you're going to discover, what you like to do and what you don't like to do. So just look out for those red flags, y'all. We're here for you. If you ever have any questions or need advice in your journey, because we're going through the same stuff that you are, we are not exempt to that.
Right. We're with you, babes.
Oh my God. So is it time?
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
It is.
Take your time, do it right. We can do it, baby. Do it tonight, baby. Take that deep breath.
So let's get into these affirmations, because I know that we've gone over so much when it comes down to discovering your authentic expression.
Right.
And we want you to be able to take this information, sit on it, let it soak in.
So my first affirmation is, I actively choose to be the most authentic version of myself.
It is a wonderful day to speak and live in my truth.
My authenticity is expanding my world in remarkable ways.
I express myself, my creativity, my emotions, my needs, and my desires clearly and with ease.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. Amen. Yeah, amen.
Okay. Now, at this time, we would definitely like to wrap this up with a huge deep breath. Let's do like an 8 count in, a 4 count hold, and an 8 count out. Okay?
Let's do it.
And starting in. 4 out.
That was necessary.
So necessary. And it feels so good. It feels so good to be alive. It feels so good to be in this space with y'all. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of The New Black Girlz.
Don't forget, you can stay connected with us across all social media platforms: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, at The New Black Girlz with a Z.
That's with a Z. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you send it to a friend.
Please.
And to a family member and to an enemy, because they need this love and light all up in their lives. Okay? Stay anchored and
keep that motherfucking flame lit. You know how we rock. The
New Black Girlz.
Mwah.